Hello everyone, I'm Ankit and you're watching StudyIQ IS English. In our today's video, we are going to talk about a Russian origin missile that theoretically can never stop, that it can fly on forever. Now, what is this missile? What is the technology behind it? What is the significance of this development? Everything we are going to cover in our today's video. And the notes that I will be using in this session, in case if you want to download them, they will be made available on this particular Telegram channel called as ATS Live. So you can go to this channel and download the notes. And while you're at it, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel also. So let us understand the context of our today's discussion. Now, recently, the president of Russia, Mr. Vladimir Putin, held a meeting with the top military officials of Russia. And at that time, he declared that Russia has successfully tested a missile known as Burevestnik missile. Now, this missile is a cruise missile which is able or which is capable to carry nuclear warhead. But does it make it special? No. You know what makes it special is that it is powered by nuclear fuel. So that is why if you look at the test range of this missile, it kept on going for as many as 15 hours. And in the meantime, it covered distance over 14,000 kilometers. And what was the reason behind such a long range? Was that it was propelled by none other than nuclear fuel. So this is what makes this particular weapon so special. So let us understand the important or unique features of this missile. Now, you know what Vladimir Putin said? He said that we have developed a unique weapon that no one else in the world has, and he was right in this regard. You know, this missile system is propelled by nuclear fuel, which theoretically provides it a virtually unlimited range and endurance, that it can keep going on and flying forever, giving it an ample amount of time, an ample amount of range to strike anywhere in the world. Similarly, it is also capable of carrying nuclear warhead, which gives it a strategic second strike capability. And this second strike capability that Russia now has, it can theoretically use these cruise missiles even to strike at intercontinental ballistic missile ranges, which has been unheard of, right? And this also has the other benefits that the cruise missiles have. It can fly very low in the altitudes of 50 to 100 meters above sea level, which gives us an unpredictability that it can even evade radar and missile defense systems. Therefore, it becomes quite dangerous for adversaries of Russia, particularly United States. So these are the unique features. The most important feature is its propulsion system, that is nuclear-based propulsion system. Now, what is the strategic benefit, or why has Russia, despite many setbacks, developed this missile? Let us talk about the setbacks. Now, Russia announced it first in 2000s, and since then, multiple tests or multiple failure of tests have been witnessed. So much so that in 2019, group of Russia's nuclear engineers died because of radiation leak from this missile. And that is why many Western thinkers and experts, they have given this missile a moniker that this is Russia's flying Chernobyl. I don't need to make you understand what was Chernobyl. Chernobyl was a nuclear reactor presently present in Ukraine, which are where nuclear disaster killed many people, right? Now, Putin, in order to honor these dead scientists, he highlighted that they died for something, or they died making a weapon which is without any equal in the world, and he was right in this matter. So why, despite many setbacks, has Russia developed this missile? The answer to this lies in our subsequent discussion. Now, many experts have linked this development to Russia's ongoing war with Ukraine. First of all, to increase pressures on Russia so that Russia signs a ceasefire agreement, US has eased restrictions on Ukraine that it can now seek many Western missiles or long-range cruise missiles like Tomahawk missiles, right? Now, Tomahawk missiles of US can travel up to 2,500 kilometers at subsonic speed. And if Ukraine possesses these kind of missiles, it gives Ukraine the ability to hit Russia's energy supply, including its oil refineries. Now, while this development was announced by US, the spokesperson of Kremlin said that US or Russia would take this as a staggering response. And in that regard, many experts have claimed that this missile that the Russia has developed is a kind of response of Western move to provide long-range subsonic cruise missiles to Ukraine. But this is not where it is. Yes, Russia, once it has the missile, it has the ability to strategically escalate and respond against any Western incursion, including hitting many NATO countries in Western Europe and US. But this is not the right reason. Many have also said that to cover the setbacks that Russia might be facing on battlefield, it is demonstrating its technological prowess. Yes, this might be true in certain circumstances, but is it the reason why Russia has developed this missile? The answer is probably not. The answer to this reason why Russia has developed this missile lies elsewhere. It lies further back in time. Now, if you can recall, US, it withdrew from 1972 anti-ballistic missile treaty. Now US and Russia, they have a large presence of nuclear weapons. So the kind of understanding between these two powers is that when both of these countries possess very big nuclear weapons, it ensures the principle of mutually assured destruction. That theoretically, let us suppose if US fires a nuclear missile towards Russia, Russia would do the same with US, right? So in this case, both of these countries would ensure that both of them are destroyed. So this is what is called as doctrine of mutually assured destruction. And it seeks to achieve what is known as balance of power between these two rival factions. Now in this case, let us imagine if US withdraws from an anti-ballistic missile treaty and develops an air defense system. So this would make US immune from any kind of response that might come from Russia. So in this case, if US develops a missile system and it decides to fire a nuclear missile towards Russia, and if Russia does the same with US, those missiles won't be able to hit US. So it tilts the balance of power in favor of US. Now to regain the balance of power, Russia is now developing these long-range weapons. As I told you, these are cruise missiles. So it can evade the missile defense systems by flying at low altitudes. So this seeks to assure balance of power. So when one actions by a country like withdrawing from an air defense treaty and creating an air defense generates what is known as security dilemma. So to deal with this security dilemma, Russia has now upped its game in arms race. That is by creating such kind of weapon system. And this is very true similarly because recently US President Donald Trump proposed a new kind of air defense system called as Golden Dome. So as to evade these kind of Golden Dome anti-ballistic missile systems, Russia has developed a new kind of cruise missile, which is a nuclear powered missile. So theoretically, Russia can use this missile even against US based targets. So this is the main reason why Russia has developed these kind of missiles, not particularly against Ukraine, but mostly against the developments that is going on with respect to Russia and US. Now, it also highlights many arms control and diplomacy. Currently, the only kind of arms control treaty that exists between US and Russia is the New START treaty, and it is going to expire in February 2026. But there was a surprising proposal that came from Putin's side. He stated that they are willing to extend New START treaty by one another year. And you know the reason why Putin is proposing this kind of an agreement? Why? Because it would allow Russia to buy time and prevent the arms race that is going on with US, and it can use the same resources in order to gain significant advantage with respect to its Ukraine war. So it gives Russia the time, the resources to use it accordingly in Ukraine and not involve in an arms race with US, which would have been the case if both of these parties would have not agreed to extend the new arms treaty. And therefore, the strategic intent of Putin is to maintain deterrence credibility without overstretching its resources by participating in an arms race with US. And therefore, it can focus the same efforts on its Ukraine war. Now, what is the significance of this for Russia's regime and particularly for Putin? Now, Russia for a long period of time has been undertaking its military modernization because most of the military infrastructure of Russia dates back to the erstwhile USSR. Now, while doing so, it is maintaining a strategic deterrence and also it is ensuring that no missile defense system can prevent Russia from assuring mutually assured destruction with respect to US. Also, it is designed to counter US missile defense system, most particularly the recently developed or recently developing Golden Dome missile system. And while doing so, it also ensures survivability of nuclear arms of Russia. In case if US attacks Russia with a kind of nuclear arms, Russia needs to have the capability to respond back in time. And by developing such a long-range cruise missile, which can theoretically keep going on and on, it gives Russia the adequate amount of time and options to respond or pay back in kind to US. So therefore, it offers Russia a second strike capability theoretically, because this missile can go on forever as it is nuclear powered and has an unlimited range. So it would provide an adequate amount of response measures to Russia. And it also showcases Putin's Russia's technological autonomy, especially at the time when Western countries are trying to cripple Russia's economy by imposing sanction on it, right? So this is the broader significance for Russia's own military development. Now, let us try to solve a question which has appeared in the 2023 exam. If you read this question, ballistic missiles are jet propelled at subsonic speeds and cruise missiles are rocket powered. Are you able to solve this question with the kind of discussion we had? Most probably not. So you need additional information. What makes cruise missiles different than ballistic missiles? Let us understand the difference between the same and then we'll try to solve this question. Now, mostly there are two kinds of missiles, cruise missiles and ballistic missiles. For India, the ballistic missiles are Prithvi as well as Agni. And for India, the cruise missiles are like BrahMos as well as Nirbhay. So what makes these two kind of missile systems different? Let us understand this. First of all, there is a difference in the flight path of these missiles. The cruise missiles, as the name suggests, they cruise in the air, just like normal aircrafts. So their flight path is mostly horizontal inside the atmosphere. But the ballistic missiles, they travel outside the atmosphere, they travel to their location and then they re-enter into the atmosphere. So their path is more like parabolic. So cruise missiles take off like this, travels like this and then hits the target just like an aircraft would do. But ballistic missiles take a parabolic path where they even cross the outer atmosphere, okay? So in that regard, the cruise missiles flow a bit lower in the altitude, which gives them the opportunity to change direction. And therefore, cruise missiles are somewhat harder to detect. Whereas the ballistic missile, they take a parabolic curve, so they travel in high altitude and their path is somewhat predictable in nature. So it makes ballistic missiles easier to detect by the anti-missile ballistic systems. Now, there is also a difference in kind of propulsion system these two missiles have. As the name suggests, cruise missiles flies like an aircraft. So these are propelled by jet engines, right? Similarly, the ballistic missiles are powered by rocket engines. So in terms of power, ballistic missiles have a large power as compared to cruise missiles. And therefore, the speed with which ballistic missiles fly, they fly at a very high speed. When they re-enter into the atmosphere, they strike their targets with hypersonic speed. Whereas the speed of cruise missiles are either subsonic like Tomahawk or supersonic like BrahMos missile. Now, conventional cruise missiles have lower range as compared to ballistic missile, so they travel in short to medium ranges, whereas ballistic missile can be medium to intercontinental ranges. And the payload that cruise missiles can carry can be small nuclear weapons or conventional payload, whereas the ballistic missiles, they can carry nuclear or heavy conventional payloads. Now, the use of these two missiles are very different. Cruise missiles are usually used for tactical purposes, right? During Operation Sindoor, India used cruise missiles like BrahMos to target tactical targets like the air bases of Pakistan. Whereas the ballistic missile provides you the strategic and deterrence against long-range targets. So there you can send heavier payloads to a longer-range targets, and that is why these are used for strategic measures. Whereas cruise missiles offer you the kind of precision which you can use for tactical targeting, right? Like terrorist camps, like air bases. So please give me other examples of cruise missiles and ballistic missiles. Now I've understood that you've understood the difference. Now let us come back to our discussion, but before that I want to tell you something. Right now, we are in the process of taking admissions to our classes for UPSC mains examination for 2027 and 2028. So, students who are looking to give exams in either of these 2 years, please try to enroll yourself for P2I foundation courses, because in these courses, we offer all the subjects, we offer tests, we offer mentorship. So it would be very helpful for you to clear this exam with relative ease. You can take admissions to our courses, be it 2027 or 28, but please keep one thing in mind, that if you use the code ATS Live, you'll get maximum discounts on all our courses, be it 2027, be it 2028, or be it optional courses. Now let us come back to our discussion. Consider the following statement: ballistic missiles are jet propelled. Are these true? No. Ballistic missiles are propelled by rocket engines and they travel at relatively higher speeds as compared to the cruise missiles, whereas cruise missiles are powered by turbojet or aircraft engines, right? So these are powered by not rocket powered, but these are conventional turbojet powered. So first statement is incorrect. Agni 5 is a medium range supersonic cruise missile. Incorrect. It is a medium range ballistic missile of India. Whereas BrahMos, as we already know it due to Operation Sindoor, it is a supersonic cruise missile. So second statement also is incorrect. Both of these statements are incorrect as we have already discussed. Therefore, option D is the right answer because we had to identify the correct statement. So this is how you solve a question that has appeared in the UPSC exam in 2023. I hope this discussion was helpful for you. And if you want to download the notes, this is where you can go to. And this is the QR code that you can scan. That is the channel ATS Live where you'll find the notes. And also do not forget to subscribe to it. So this is all for our today's discussion. Please have a very good day. We'll see each other again at 9 p.m. also.